Hello everyone, welcome. We are here in 25 item challenge for letter B, focusing on general sciences. Part 2 is focused on physical sciences. How many items will you get? Correct. All right, let's dive in. We have the first item, which is which subatomic particle determines the identity or atomic number of an element. The answer, identity, which is the address of the element in the periodic table, and that is proton. Okay. And then what type of bond involves the sharing of electron pairs between atoms? You may pause, but I'll just continue to speak and then just pause. So the keyword is sharing of electrons, and that is covalent bond sharing. Okay. Happens between nonmetals to nonmetals. And then ionic bond, our keyword for that is transfer. So metals to nonmetals. And the metallic bond keyword is sea of electrons or sea of the localized electrons or cloud of electrons. And then hydrogen bond is the bond with hydrogen to oxygen or hydrogen to fluorine, for example. Item 3, which state of matter has definite volume but has no definite shape? The answer is liquid, all right? Because if you will look here, the solid has definite shape and definite volume, right? So that is wrong. And then gas here, for the gas, you have definite shape. It has neither definite shape and nor definite volume. So it's no both volume and shape. Same with plasma. So plasma is like gas, but it has no definite shape and no definite volume as well. So the answer is liquid, okay? And then for the next one, the pH scale measures the concentration of which ion in a solution. pH means potential hydrogen, and that is hydronium ions. Or if you have an option for H plus, it's also correct. So you will have this if it becomes an acid, because the one where you will have an increase in the number of hydrogen. All right. Which of the following is a physical change? Physical change meaning to say no new substances is formed. The answer is dissolving sugar in water. The rest here, it forms new substances. Okay. The law of conservation of mass states that, what's your answer? Is it A, B, C, or D? All right. The correct answer for this one is letter C. The total mass of reactants equals the total mass of products. So that's why we also balance chemical equation, because we have to express algebraically that the amount of reactants is the same with the amount of the products produced. Okay. Next, what is the atomic mass of an element? Atomic mass of an element, how do you calculate that? The answer is letter B, the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. That is how you get the atomic mass. And then the next one, which type of mixture can be separated by filtration? So if you have a filtration, then that means you have the solute, insoluble solute, and then the solvent, and that is suspension. And then the next one, isotopes of the same element have the same number of, like for example, you have carbon 12 and then carbon 13. What? They have the same number. They have the same number of protons, but they differ in neutrons, okay? Which of the following best describes the exothermic reaction? Exothermic reaction, exit. So it means it releases or it exits heat to the surrounding. The answer is letter B, which is opposite of endo. Endo means enter. So exit means releasing. Okay? And the next one, Newton's first law of motion is also known as the law of, what's your answer? Law of inertia. So it says objects resist changes in their state of motion. All right. How about this one, item 12? Item 12, a 10-kilogram object accelerates at 3 meters per second squared. What is the net force acting on it? The formula is force equals mass times acceleration. You have the mass, 10 kilogram, denoted by the unit kilogram, and an acceleration of 3 meters per second squared. So you will have substitution, 10 kilogram multiplied to the acceleration of 3 meters per second squared. You will have 30 Newton. Unit of this is expressed as 30 Newton. So the answer is C. And the next one, item 13, which quantity is defined as the rate of change of displacement? Rate of change of displacement, that is velocity, madam. Okay? All right. Next, item 14. According to the Newton's third law, when you push a wall, the wall will. What's your answer? A, B, C, or D? Mom, the wall is not moving. So what's your answer? Letter C, it pushes backward an equal and opposite reaction because Newton's third law of interaction states that in every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay? Item 15. What happens to the gravitational force between two objects when the distance between them is doubled? What's your answer? By the way, what is the formula for the gravitational force? That is Fg equals mass 1 or gravity here and then mass 2 and then the r squared or the distance. So as you can see, you are being asked about the gravitational force. This is gravitational constant. These are the masses. This is the distance. This is the gravitational force. So as you can see, this one is a numerator. The distance is in the denominator. So if the distance between them is doubled, this one increases, the different phenomena will happen in the gravitational force. It will decrease. So if this is raised into halves and it will become 1/4, so this one will be reduced to 1/4. Okay, the answer is letter C. It is reduced to 1/4 by inverse proportionality reaction. And the next, a ball is thrown upward. This is projectile. At its highest point, what is its velocity? Highest point here, if this is your cliff and you throw the ball upward, the answer is 0. It's not moving here momentarily. All right. Item 17, the SI unit of force is Newton, Pascal is pressure, Watt is power, Joule is work. Okay, next. Which of the following is a vector quantity? When you say vector, it has both the magnitude and direction, and that is displacement. Displacement is a change in position. So displacement is a speed with direction. Speed only entails how fast an object moves, but it doesn't tell a direction, so that is wrong. Temperature, no direction, of course, mass as well. So mass differs from weight because weight is equivalent to mass times the acceleration due to gravity. And gravity is always downward. That is why the weight is a vector quantity, while the mass alone is a scalar quantity. So the answer is displacement. Momentum is defined as mass multiplied by velocity. The answer is C. All right. A car accelerates from 20 meters per second to rest in 4 seconds. What is its acceleration? So this is the initial, this is the final. All right, formula is acceleration equals the final velocity minus the final velocity. All right, and then you will have their formula of A equals 0 minus 20 over 4, the seconds here, and you should have negative 5 meters per second squared. And that is letter A. Why you have here your, oh my gosh, where is that? That is why you have here your initial and then your final, which is 0, okay? So your final is 0. And then your initial velocity is 20 meters per second. And then same with here, change in time, which is 4 seconds. That's why you have negative 5 meters per second squared. All right. Next, which form of energy is stored in the chemical bonds of food? What's your answer? Item 21. All right, the answer is chemical energy. Chemical potential energy. Stored meaning to say not in use, so it's potential energy. And then the law of conservation of energy states that, what's your answer? Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is only transformed from one form to another. For example, the sunlight, the light energy can be converted into heat energy, can be converted into chemical energy or mechanical energy. Okay? Next, letter C. A 5 kilogram object is raised to a height of 10 meters. What is the gravitational potential energy given that the acceleration due to gravity is 10 meters per second squared. So what's your answer for item 23? You have the formula of potential energy equals mgh, mass, gravity, height. Everything is given here. So you just need to what? Multiply, substitute. You just have the mass of 5 kilogram and then the gravity of 10 meters per second squared, and then multiply to the height of 10 meters. And you will have letter, what's your answer? Letter B, 500 joules. Okay, next. Item 24. Which process transfers heat without requiring a medium? So what's your answer? The answer is 24. Alright, radiation. Okay, so next. Like for example, if you want to transfer heat, like for example, the sun doesn't need an instrument. You can feel it if it's at its peak on an afternoon, right? You are sweating, so it doesn't require a medium. What is the SI unit of power? The answer is watts. Okay, so that is for item 25. Check out the part 2 of this somewhere down the road. Bye.